All right. Lauren Stewart, Americans for Prosperity, Virginia chapter. Best wishes, Lauren.
Thank you. Good morning. It's good to be back. It'll take a couple weeks, I think, to get used to the name change, but I'm just trying to dive right in.
Lauren Stewart. Well, listen, Lauren, now that you're back from where'd you go on your honeymoon?
We actually did a quick mini moon out to Vegas. My husband is an active duty Marine getting ready for deployment. So we had 4 quick days, but it was, you know what, people knock on Vegas, but it was great. We actually got a lot of sleep, a lot of relaxation, and some good quality time. So just a quick mini moon, and we're both back to regular daily life as of Monday.
I like that, mini moon.
Yeah.
And the good thing about a mini moon is in the future, you still got to get a honeymoon.
Yes, exactly.
So basically you get both.
Very strategic in that.
Very strategic. So you get a mini moon and a regular honeymoon. You get them both. All right. Americans for Prosperity, Virginia chapter. You guys had a great General Assembly session. Let's get to politics. Are you guys, as Americans for Prosperity, weighing in on any races anywhere this cycle?
Absolutely. We will be weighing in on several races. I can't announce which one specifically yet.
Oh, come on, Lauren.
Yes, I know. I got to keep you on your toes, John. But I promise we'll be able to unveil them soon. You know, as you spoke about our session, we're really going to be backing people and getting involved in races where there's the opportunity to break down barriers for Virginians. So if there's someone who is up for election, up for re-election, that we think will be able to help us reach our outcome in that through the General Assembly and through their role as an elected official, that's where we're going to be focusing our efforts. As you know, we have a huge grassroots, both on and offline infrastructure all across the state. But you're going to see a pretty hefty list from us coming out within probably the next couple weeks.
Are you going to do any endorsements before the June 11th primary?
I cannot confirm nor.
Oh, come on, Lauren! You're killing me.
Yeah, I know. But obviously that's coming out.
We're waiting with bated breath because, look, here's the deal. When AFP weighs in on a race, it's huge.
Yeah.
Because
we mean business.
Well,
so,
it's beyond that. It's your volunteers. I mean, people have to realize Americans for Prosperity Virginia chapter. How many grassroots volunteers do you have in Virginia now?
So both on and offline, and I like to emphasize on and offline because a lot of the action that is making a real impact is online as well. So we have over 400,000 activists across the Commonwealth that have taken some action with us in the last year or so. So pretty exciting stuff. Like I said, you're going to see a number of names coming out within the next few weeks of who will be endorsing. It's definitely our largest list and our largest level of political engagement, which I'm super excited about. That's my background, coming from the RNC, the inaugural committee, and a couple of presidential campaigns. So I'm super excited to get our team rolling with all of that, and they're really excited as well. It's been a lot of preparation because of the hefty list that we have. And we have some really great people running, which I'm really excited about. And I know it's going to be a fight, and I know our activists are 100% ready, and which is awesome to see. You know, Virginia never has an off year, and we're an organization that's around 365 days out of the year. We don't just engage politically, as you know, and our folks are ready to go. So I'm very excited, and I promise you will be the first to know when we start announcing.
Are you going to make the announcement on my show?
We could work that out.
Yes, work it out, Lauren.
Lauren Stewart. Work that out.
Lauren Toomey Stewart. Lauren Stewart, former Toomey. I don't know what to say. Do I call her Stewart now, Kara?
I know. Well, it sounds kind of funny, hyphenated, doesn't it? I think it's because both last names have 2 syllables. But
Lauren Toomey
we'll just
Stewart.
roll with Lauren Stewart. It'll help me get used to it.
I kind of like, what? You want me to do that? Lauren Toomey Stewart?
Yep.
I can do that. Or kind of rolls off the tongue. Or we could just call you LTS.
There you go. I like that.
Lauren, LTS. That's kind of stealthy, right? LTS
I know. I was
going to
say, sound like an agent.
I know, like LTS is coming on. Well, see, the reason why I'm so hyped on your endorsements is because, look, Americans for Prosperity Virginia, 400,000 activists, grassroots in Virginia, on and offline. They knock on doors. They do social media. They do Facebook. They're all over the place. 400,000 is a big number. So when Americans for Prosperity weighs in on one of these races, they bring that to bear. They bring that number of people to bear, all working in one direction. It's like when the president tweets out a primary endorsement, the person wins the next day. I mean, it's just too many people. And so you're going to have a huge impact. That's why I can't wait to know who you're backing. And I can't make any predictions until I know that, because that's going to affect my predictions. And also, I don't want to endorse somebody where you're endorsing the other people, because then I'm going to lose. I don't like to lose my endorsements. So I'm going to have to wait.
I can't imagine you're a very good loser, John.
I don't like to lose. What was the last one? Gillespie. That was it. Like nightmare. Got beat by 8 by Governor Tunnels. So we don't like to do that. But I got to wait on all this stuff. So, okay, let's get all this straight now that we got you on the air. Okay, so do you have, what's your Twitter handle? Did that change, or is it the same?
It changed. So it's it's La Stew 19. So it's just LASTEW 19.
All right. And what's AFP's Twitter handle now? Do they have a separate one for Virginia?
Yes. We have AFP Virginia AFPVA is our Twitter handle. If you search for AFP Virginia, it should come up at AFPVA. We're very active on there. That's where, we're going to be focusing a lot of our efforts as far as mobilizing our activists. We have groups of activists all across the state that need to be coordinated. So our grassroots engagement directors do a great job of utilizing technology to really mobilize people to their fullest. I mean, what's awesome now, John, is it used to be back in the day where you'd have to go into a political field office, or you'd actually have to leave your home to be engaged in a political race. And now it's not that way at all. I mean, don't get me wrong, our field offices across the state will be packed throughout the summer and fall, but the number of people that will be engaging, they may never come into our field office, but they might send, 10,000 text messages with our capabilities. So it's really exciting stuff. And I also, like I said, I'm really excited to roll out the number of people that we will be getting involved in their races.
Well, I love the fact that you're getting involved in these races, especially in the primaries, because there's a lot of competitive ones here. There's a couple. I mean, there's one for state senate in Virginia Beach. There's a couple for House of Delegates in Richmond, Central Virginia. There's one in Fredericksburg. Of course, there's a debacle in the 97th. You've heard about that, I'm sure, which is the whole thing is an embarrassment. In fact, I got to be honest, Lauren, I stopped covering it because it's just covering it makes me sick. The whole thing makes me sick. And, this is where you're really saved in life, because you're not involved with the Republican Party of Virginia, internal shenanigan apparatus nonsense that goes on. You're working on higher level stuff than, who's stealing what convention from who. It's ridiculous.
Right. Absolutely. And you know what, John, you mentioned there's a lot of competitive races. I think what we learn every year in Virginia is that every race is pretty competitive, or some races we didn't even think were going to be competitive pop up that way. So we're ready. We're excited. We're putting in kind of the last final touches on our strategy. We don't deploy these things just saying, hey, we like this person, we're going for it, and we'll see what happens. We have very methodical, strategic ways of engaging in each of these different races across the state. Every area in Virginia, I always tell folks, I say, Virginia could be anywhere from 3 to 7 different states as far as politically goes. So fortunately, our team really knows their regions. Our activists play a huge role in mapping that out and letting us know kind of what is on the ground, what it looks like. And that also weighs into how we make the decisions of whether or not to engage. So there's a lot that goes into it, and I'm really just so excited. This is my first time within the last couple of years being AFP that will have this much involvement. So
what changed?
Really excited, and we will keep you looped in for sure.
No, I love your new direction. Because look, everyone knows that Americans for Prosperity, and especially the one that I'm involved with is Americans for Prosperity Virginia chapter, is very, very active and very, very aggressive on the policy side, the state policy side. I mean, you guys are, when the General Assembly in session, you're there 24/7, the whole session. Yeah. You're doing position papers, you're lobbying, you're talking to House of Delegate members, state senators. You're very active with your grassroots. You advocate for the positions that you have. You rally backing behind it, and occasionally you'd weigh in on a race. Right now, it looks like you're shifting because you have this army sitting there, basically 400,000 people, and I'm telling you, the people that you endorse. Here's why it's so powerful: because you take that 400,000 grassroots army and you channel it towards a handful of candidates. No one can compete with that in Virginia. No one has that arsenal. And
right.
Yeah,
we certainly have an opportunity with, kind of the new direction that we're going in and really focusing on breaking down barriers across the state. And, not only our activists, but the real opportunity that we're presented this cycle. So that's we're really excited about it. I would say, during session, that is our priority, is policy, because at the end of the day, the state policy and federal policy, we've been involved in several federal policy fights, including the Trump tax cuts, which we are, thrilled about, and we continue to see fruitful results from. I mean, including in Virginia, come October, because of the Senate tax plan, families will receive a $200 rebate. Single folks will receive a $100 rebate because we did indeed conform to those tax cuts here in Virginia. So super excited about that. But we also, we've worked with even the governor on the driver's license suspension bill. That bill would not have been passed if it weren't for the governor. Now, if you remember correctly, in 2017, we engaged against the governor, very, very, very strongly against the governor. So it's just essentially, we're shifting the direction of, working with anybody to do right. It's a Frederick Douglass quote, and to really break down barriers across the state. And this is a way we can do it. This is not our, political wins and losses are not our outcomes. Our outcomes is breaking down barriers across Virginia, and there's a lot that goes into that, including who is in the State House and the type of work we're able to do with them.
Well, you do that by working across the aisle, which is the same thing I do. That's why we're aligned so much. We get along so well because, when McAuliffe was right, I backed him. And I didn't care that it was Democrat or Republican. The same thing with any of these people, whether it's a state senator, a House member. When I think they're on the right side of the policy, I'm going to be in favor of them regardless. And I look at you go to the Wyatt Peace race, I'm for Chris Peace in that for one reason. I mean, Peace worked 4 years nonstop to bring Colonial Downs back to New Kent, and that created 1,500 jobs. Now they just created another 200 jobs in Vinton, Virginia, in Southwest. I might not agree with him on everything he's done, but I know for a fact that without him, that wouldn't have happened. And for the 1,500 people that have jobs now who didn't, or have better paying jobs, or can have one job instead of 3 jobs, you have to look them in the eye and say, this doesn't matter. It's tough to do. So I love the fact that you're looking to work with anybody to get your agenda through. And I got to tell you, Lauren Toomey Stewart, in a time of such partisan bickering, I mean, isn't it refreshing, uplifting, and encouraging and inspiring to be able to focus on getting the right thing done regardless of the politics behind it?
Yeah, absolutely. And, more reinforcing that point are the number of people, who are coming out just dying to be for something. What can I be for? What can I be excited about? I've spent the last 10, 20, 30 years being against Democrats, being against Republicans. And you know what? Majority in the House or the Senate on both the state and federal level doesn't always necessarily mean a policy majority. So we could literally spend the rest of our lives being mad and being against something. And the response that we've got from our activists, even folks who have been with us, who have been fired up and against things for a very long time and enjoyed that, found it so, like you said, refreshing to have that aspirational change and to really kind of shift the focus and say, you know what, we truly, in our hearts, I am one of those people who believe all people are very good-natured and want the best for themselves and others, are really excited to advocate and to be aspirational and supporting versus, knocking down the Capitol and things like that. There's a time and a place for that, but there's definitely some fatigue. And you're absolutely right. People find it extremely.
You can only storm the gates so many times, right? And then you do. It is very invigorating. It's like inhaling oxygen when you're for something than when you're just fighting it in opposition. So I agree with that 100%. Now, having said all that, Lauren Toomey Stewart, Deputy Director, Americans for Prosperity, Virginia Chapter, we're going to get you on now every week just to shake you down for who your people that you're endorsing are, because
I can handle it.
We know that those that you endorse are going to win, and so we can't wait to hear who that list is. So we're going to have you on every week. Lauren Toomey Stewart, Americans for Prosperity, Virginia Chapter. Follow them at AFPVA, and you can follow the new Lauren Toomey Stewart at LA Stew with an E, like you're making stew 19. LA Stew 19. She changed her name, changed her Twitter handle. Lots of changes going on. Aspirational.
I don't even know if I have to change anything else, right? I did it on Facebook and Twitter. I'm all set, right?
Did you change your driver's license?
Oh, yes. All of that fun stuff. That's right.
Lauren Stewart, thanks for being with us.
Thanks, John. Great to talk with you. Have a great day.
All right. John Fredericks Radio Network.